Saliva is an American rock band formed in Memphis, Tennessee, in 1996. Saliva released their self-titled debut album in 1997 through Rocking Chair Records, a label owned and operated by Mark Yashida. The release was recorded and produced by Bill Pappas at Rocking Chair Studios. They were signed to Island Def Jam Records and went on to release their second studio album Every 6 Seconds. Saliva later released their third studio album titled Back Into Your System in 2002, which reached No. 19 on the Billboard 200. Back Into Your System launched one of Saliva's most successful songs, Always, reaching No. 51 on the Billboard Hot 100 and No. 1 on the Modern Rock chart. 3 years after Survival of the Sickest, Saliva released Blood-Stained Love Story in 2007, repeating Back Into Your System's chart performance at No. 19 on the Billboard 200. Its first single, Ladies and Gentlemen, peaked at No. 2 on the mainstream rock chart. Their last original member, Wayne Swinney, died on March 22, 2023. Formation and Saliva 1996-1999. Saliva was founded in Bartlett, Tennessee, a suburb of Memphis, Tennessee in September 1996 by former members of local bands Roxy Blue, Blackbone and Gemini Clan. The original lineup featured vocalist Josie Scott Sappington, drummer Todd Poole, bassist Dave Novotny and guitarist Chris DeBaldo and Wayne Swinney. The band played their first show on Halloween, October 31, 1996 with Sappington dressed in a nun costume and Novotny dressed in a voodoo costume. In December 1996, only 4 months after forming, the band hastily recorded a demo tape, on the basis of which they were selected, out of 117 local bands, to perform at the second annual Grammy Showcase National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences local competition. The band barely had time to finish mixing the tracks of their demo tape at Rocking Chair Recording Studios in order to submit their application before the deadline. The local showcase had Saliva perform alongside 4 other Tennessee and Arkansas bands DDT Big Band, Mash-O-Matic, Straight Up Buzz and Ashtray Babyhead on January 24, 1997 at Memphis New Daisy Tavern. Saliva ranked first place at the local showcase and advanced to the regional showcase held in Austin, Texas on February 7, 1997. Their demo tape had since been remixed with a better production, and the song Suffocate was included on the 1997 Grammy Showcase Various Artists Compact Disc compilation, released through Grammy Recordings, alongside the 11 other bands with whom they would be competing in the regional showcases. Saliva again won first place in the regional showcase and they advanced to the national finals, held in New York City on February 22, 1997, competing against the other 2 regional finalists, folk trio Maggie, Pierce, NEJ and rock band Save Ferris. Saliva came in second behind Save Ferris, but still received worthy consolation prizes including money, equipment and tickets to 1997's 39th annual Grammy Awards ceremony. By this point, Saliva had only played a total of 6 concerts, but they began to be courted by major record label A&R scouts. The band was nominated for Best Newcomer at the 12th Annual Premier Player Awards, the local Memphis edition of the Grammy Awards, held at the Peabody's Memphis Ballroom on April 16, 1997. Saliva also appeared at Memphis Crossroads 97 Music Exhibition as part of Memphis in May's Beale Street Music Festival Showcase on May 2, 1997. In the spring and summer of 1997, Saliva returned to Rocking Chair Recording Studios in Memphis to record additional songs with producers Bill Pappas and Mark Yashida, which were combined with the remixed songs from their demo tape into their self-titled debut album. Saliva was released on compact disc in mid-August 1997 through producer Yashida's own independent record label Rocking Chair Records. A CD release party was held at Club 616 in Memphis on Friday, August 15, 1997. The album went on to sell over 10,000 copies within 2 years, prompting Island Records A&R representatives to again take notice of the band. The band's debut album was repressed following Saliva's major label success through a licensing deal between Rocking Chair Records and hip-hop record label Diamond Productions. The reissue was distributed by RED Distribution Imprint Rum RED Urban Music Marketing and featured an updated artwork designed by Brandon Sievers at Audiographic Masterworks. The band performed again at Memphis Crossroads 98 Music Exhibition as part of Memphis in May's Beale Street Music Festival Showcase on May 3, 1998. Drummer Poole departed in late 1999 and was replaced by Paul Crosby. Every 6 Seconds 2000-2001. Saliva's Island Every 6 Seconds was released in 2001 and featured the singles Your Disease and Click Click Boom, both of which saw significant play on rock radio and helped bring the band into mainstream popularity. The songs Superstar and Click Click Boom are featured in the film The Fast and the Furious. Back Into Your System 2002-2003. Back Into Your System, their third album, was released in 2002, which included the chart-topping hits Always and Rest in Pieces, co-written by James Michael and Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue. The band toured in 2003, opening for Kiss and Aerosmith. Survival of the Sickest 2004-2005. Saliva then released Survival of the Sickest on August 17, 2004, which reached number 20 on the Billboard 200. On May 29, 2005, guitarist Chris DeBaldo announced he had left the band for obvious reasons, as the band is not a unit anymore. He then shortly retracted his statement and apologized, declaring on the band's website that there was a bit of an issue we're working through and we're looking forward to recording a new album later this year. However, the band's website later apologized again for the confusion and confirmed that due to creative differences, DeBaldo was in fact leaving the band, but that Saliva was completely moving forward as planned and our best music ahead of us. DeBaldo eventually moved on to start the band Smolder. Jake Studevos, formerly of the band Future Leaders of the World, replaced him in Saliva's tour lineup. Studevos left the group right before the recording sessions for Ladies and Gentlemen. Jonathan Montoya, formerly of Full Devil Jacket, then became the next permanent member of Saliva. Bloodstained Love Story 2006-2007. A new single, titled Ladies and Gentlemen, was released in November 2006 to radio stations and made it to No. 2 on the US mainstream rock charts. Saliva released the album Bloodstained Love Story on January 23, 2007. It has also been included as the background music for a number of Sony's commercials for the PlayStation 3. It was also made the official theme song for WrestleMania 23. The second single released off of the album was Broken Sunday, which reached No. 8 on the mainstream rock chart. Saliva's tour manager Chris stated that the new single off Bloodstained Love Story would be King of the Stereo. Cinco Diablo and Greatest Hits 2008-2010. In an interview with WWE on February 27, Scott said, "We're going to go in the studio probably around May and record our next record. If you like Ladies and Gentlemen and Click Click Boom and more dynamic stuff, it's going to be an ass-whooping of a record. It's going to be 45 minutes of ass-whooping." Saliva toured with Sevendust in South Korea, Japan, and a brief stint in Europe until July 2008. As of April 30, 2008, Octane 20 on Sirius Satellite Radio began playing a new song titled Don't Question My Heart, featuring Brent Smith from Shinedown. The song can be found on the album WWE The Music, Vol. 8, and was the official television theme song for the ECW brand. Saliva's sixth studio album is titled Cinco Diablo and was released on December 16, 2008. Hunt You Down was a song on the album that was then made the official WWE No Way Out 2009 theme song in February 2009. Saliva also made a song titled I Walk Alone, which is a theme song used by Batista since 2005. The band worked on a reality television show-style DVD following the recording of Cinco Diablo and Life on the Road. In an interview with MJP, Josie was asked if it was a TV show, to which Josie stated, "I hope not," and stated that he wanted it more as a DVD for our fans. Saliva went on tour with Pop Evil, Since October, Dead Season, and Aranda. They were scheduled to join the 13th annual Snowcore Tour, but singer Josie Scott had ulcer surgery. Walt Lafty of Silvertide was hired to fill in for Scott for the tour, but Saliva ultimately decided to drop out of the tour instead of touring with Lafty. On March 23, 2010, the band released a greatest hits album titled Moving Forward in Reverse, Greatest Hits. Time to Shine from said album was used as the official theme song for the WWE Extreme Rules pay-per-view in 2010. Under Your Skin and departure of Josie Scott 2010-2011. They had begun recording their seventh album, titled Under Your Skin, with Howard Benson. The band supplied a song titled Badass to the Saw 3D soundtrack released on October 26, 2010. The band released the lead single from their new album Under Your Skin, entitled Nothing. It was digitally released on February 1, 2011. Badass was later released as the second single, and reached No. 26 on Billboard's mainstream rock tracks. At the end of 2011, after 15 years with the band, Josie Scott decided to leave Saliva to pursue a solo Christian music career. Bobby Amaru, In It to Win It, and Rise Up 2012-2015. In early January 2012, it was announced that Bobby Amaru has joined Saliva as the new vocalist. According to Wayne, he is a 28-year-old singer, songwriter, producer from Jacksonville, Florida who has a great voice and will not only bring some fresh blood into the band but will also put a new spin on the Saliva sound. Amaru was the frontman of his solo band Amaru, as well as the drummer for Burn Season. On February 10, 2012, Saliva released a brand new single named All Around the World and said to write a brand new album straight after the tour. In addition to All Around the World, the band has been performing another new song titled One More Night on their current tour with 12 Stones and Royal Bliss. On November 30, 2012, it was announced that the band had just signed a new record deal with Rumbum Records and that after they have finished their current tour, the band will return home to finish writing the new album and begin recording in January for a release date sometime in the spring. On February 5, 2013, Saliva began recording a new album which would later be named In It to Win It. In It to Win It was to be the band's 8th record once and with Rumbum Records with producer Bobby Huff and executive producer Louis Baccardi. Bobby Huff co-wrote Saliva's single Badass and has worked with artists such as Meat Loaf, Three Doors Down and Kava. On April 30, 2013, the band released its first single from the new album, the aggressively anthemic title track In It to Win It. On September 3, 2013, the band released the album In It to Win It. In August 2013, Sweeney announced that rhythm guitarist Jonathan Montoya had left the band after 6 years. On January 22, 2014, a new single Rise Up was announced. It was also revealed that In It to Win It was an early limited-time fan-only sneak peek and the band is going to release the new record titled Rise Up with the same songs rearranged. Love, Lies and Therapy 2016-2017. Saliva performing in 2018. On April 16, 2016, Saliva announced their new album, titled Love, Lies and Therapy would be released June 10, 2016. Later in May, the group announced they would be supporting the album by taking part of the Make America Rock Again tour in the summer 2016 alongside Trapped, Saving Abel, Alien Ant Farm, Crazy Town, 12 Stones, Tantric and Drowning Pool, Fuel, Puddle of Mud and P.O.D. 10 Lives, Departure and Return of Paul Crosby and Brad Stewart 2018-2021. In mid-2018, drummer Paul Crosby announced his departure from the band after 18 years. Shortly afterward, bassist Brad Stewart would also depart to focus on other touring and projects. Saliva then released their 10th studio record, 10 Lives, on October 19, 2018 via Megaforce Records. The album was produced by frontman Bobby Amaru and Steve Pereira in Jacksonville, Florida. In 2019, both Crosby and Stewart confirmed their return to the band. Saliva would go on to tour in 2019 as a part of Puddle of Mud's Mudfest. Josie Scott performing with Saliva at Blue Ridge Rock Festival 2022. In October 2019, former vocalist Josie Scott announced on the Morning Dump podcast that he planned to reunite with Saliva for a tour and a new studio album. This was confirmed by Sweeney in an interview with Detroit's Riff Radio, adding that although there's nothing on paper, the reunion should take place from 2020 into 2021 to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Every 6 Seconds. In addition to Scott rejoining, Sweeney also suggested that former guitarist Chris DeBaldo may also be taking part. In January 2021, it was announced that these plans were put on hold due to the COVID-19 pandemic. On April 16, 2021, the band released a music video for After Me following the 20th anniversary of their second album Every 6 Seconds. Also, guitarist and founder Wayne Swinney set out touring for August, due to testing positive for COVID-19, with Josh Kulak filling in for him. Reunion with Josie Scott at Blue Ridge Rock Festival and Death of Wayne Swinney 2022 present. On May 14, 2022, Paul Crosby left Saliva. On September 11, 2022, Josie Scott made his first appearance with the band as a special guest since departing in 2011, where they performed 3 songs together: Your Disease, Always, and Click Click Boom. On March 22, 2023, guitarist and founding member Wayne Swinney died from a brain hemorrhage at the age of 59. He was the last surviving original member who still remained with the band.